Now the story about an industrial area in the British Overseas Territory of St. Helena, where 9 years ago the skeletons of over 300 slaves were discovered during the construction of the island's first airport. Authorities have now appointed a group of experts to look into reburying these remains, with many hoping the former slaves will finally be laid to rest with dignity. Take a look.
Today it's an industrial area. But this valley in St. Helena is where the remote island's painful history has been brought back into the present. It was here in 2008 that the remains of hundreds of former slaves were unearthed during work to build a road for the island's new airport.
Still can see some of the small excavating works here where some of the graves used to be.
In the 19th century, the Royal Navy brought thousands of freed slaves here after the trade had been abolished in the British Empire but continued elsewhere. Rescued from the ships of traffickers, they had been kept in appalling conditions, and many died on arrival in St. Helena. For almost 10 years since their rediscovery, the remains have been kept in this storeroom next to Jamestown Prison. A small note on the door is the only thing that gives a clue as to what's inside. Each week, local resident Helena comes to pray in front of the locked door. She's fighting to make sure the freed slaves get a proper burial.
In light of the airport development, we found these remains and we uncovered a part of history that we thought we could forget about, and we have forced people to remember it. But this uncovering and 10 years of storage is because it's never been a priority. The airport has been the priority for a very long time.
The remains are the responsibility of the airport management. They insist they're doing everything possible to preserve them properly.
It's an old stone building. It's got very thick stone walls, which again help with the climate control naturally, rather than having to put in expensive air conditioning units.
After nearly a decade, the island authorities have appointed a small group of experts to look into reburying the remains, with many hoping the former slaves will finally be laid to rest with dignity.